Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. It's my daily meditation that I do for myself. I record it and I release it because maybe somebody else out there can get something out of it. It just so happens that I love God and I love theology. Choose God this day. The bad guys, they sin. The good guys, we sin. We all sin. It's whom you serve. You don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. No one. That doesn't mean that when you come to God's team that you don't have to deal with your consequence. None of us get away from that. But if you choose God, He can just help you to get through it and navigate through it. Just try to be better if you come to God's team. That's all. Try to become better a little bit at a time. If you mess up, atone for it to God. Tell Him you're sorry and just move on. Try to be better. Love yourself. If you love yourself, if nobody else loves you, if you love yourself, you'll be okay, and never give up on yourself. If you lost everything you have, if you have yourself, you have everything. For those of you just tuning in, I focus out of three major religious texts: the Bible, the Quran, and I'm in an introductory Buddhist text called The Shape of Suffering. It deals with dependent co-arising. Without no this, there's no that. And everything we say and do has an effect on our senses, good or bad, whatever it is. Let's just give you an idea. For those of you, again, just tuning in, I focus out of two major religious texts, and I try to rotate the text at least twice a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how I'm led to meditate. We're back in the rotation for the Quran. We're moving right along. We're finally in chapter 4. I'm not going to read the introduction to it. We're in chapter 4, chapter 1, section 1, duties of guardians to orphan wards. But chapter 4 deals with the women, and it deals with the rights for women, okay? Deals with rights for women. That's what chapter 4 deals with. And then section 1 deals with the woman, duties of guardians to orphan wards. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, and I'm going to start, with verse 1. And it goes through 10. I don't know how far I'm going to get. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, O people, keep your duty to your Lord, who created you from a single being and created its mate of the same kind, and spread from these two many men and many women. And keep your duty to Allah, by whom you demand one of another your rights, and to the ties of relationship. Surely Allah is ever a watcher over you. And give to the orphans their property, and substitute not worthless things for their good ones. And devour not their property, adding to their own property. Excuse me, I said that wrong. Let me start that over. Sorry. And give to the orphans their property, and substitute not worthless things for their good ones. And devour not their property, adding their own property. This is surely a great sin. And if you fear that you cannot do justice to orphans, marry such a woman as seem good to you, 2 or 3 or 4. But if you fear that you will not do justice, then marry not one or that which right hands possess. This is more proper for you. For you may not do injustice. Don't come after me for that. I'm just reading the word, okay? And people want to act like stuff is all brand new. Men been dealing with multiple women for years. Do we like it? Not all of us. But they've been doing it. It's nothing new. Even when it's not in a religious text. Men been doing that. Everybody wants to be all up in arms like it's something new. It's not. They've been acting like that. Now, what you put up with is another thing. That's a whole other story. But let's don't act like everything is brand new. And give women their dowries as a free gift. But if they of themselves be pleased to give you a portion thereof, consume it with enjoyment and pleasure. We need to go back to the dowry system, We got to tighten up, ladies. And quit being anything and anybody for everybody. I understand. I've been there. But at some point we gotta decide what we gonna do. Okay? We gotta all change, all of us. And make not over your property which Allah has made a means of support for you. to the weak of understanding and maintain them out of it and clothe them and give them a good education. It sounds like, at least these women are, are getting something out of it instead of just getting laid. And test the orphans until they reach the age of marriage. Then if you find in them maturity or of intellect, make over to them their property and consume it not extravagantly and hesitantly against their growing up. And whoever is rich, let him abstain, and whoever is poor, let him consume reasonably. And when you make over to them their property, call witness. And when you make over to them their property, call witnesses in their presence. And the law is enough of a reckoner. We need to go back to a system like that. It doesn't say here that women can't own property. Actually, it's advocating that it sounds like that we be given property. I have my own. But I worked for it. Nobody gave it to me though. God gave it to me. So I mean, at least if he's gonna be dealing with all these people, if he can't give each of them all the same amount, then he shouldn't be with them. I'm not saying it's the thing to do, so don't, because I'm telling you what but it's nothing new though. I'm gonna keep going though. That don't mean I like it. I'm just reading the word and just saying how things really are. But a lot of times we're giving too much advantage to these guys, and they're not giving us anything for it. And I'm not talking about prostitution. I'm not talking about that. So don't get it twisted. Don't come at me in my comments. For he is a share of what I read that wrong. For men is a share of what the parents and their near relatives leave. And for women, a share of what the parents and the near relatives leave. Whether it be a little or much. And appoint a share. It don't say nothing in here about women not owning no property. It seems like it's saying the opposite, that we deserve to own property. And if we're with some dude, he needs to be able to support us. And make sure in case, that we're set, in case something don't go right. That's the way I want it. But I got my own stuff, so I really don't need somebody to do that for me. But you got to come with something. It sounds like they got more rights right here. And when relatives and the orphans and the needy are present at the division, give them out of it and speak of them kind words. And let those fear who should they leave behind them weakly. Excuse me. Let me say that again. And let those fear who should they leave behind them weakly offspring with fear on their account. So let them observe their duty to Allah and let them speak right words. Those who swallow the property of the orphans unjustly, they shall only fire into the bellies. Let me say that again. Those who swallow the property of the orphans unjustly, they swallow only fire into their bellies, and they will burn in blazing fire.